Your Notre Dame live stream will begin soon. Thanks for watching. Your Notre Dame live stream will begin soon. Thanks for watching. Your Notre Dame live stream will begin soon. Thanks for watching. Your Notre Dame live stream will begin soon. Thanks for watching. Your Notre Dame live stream will begin soon. Thanks for watching. Your Notre Dame live stream will begin soon. Thanks for watching. Your Notre Dame live stream will begin soon. Thanks for watching. Your Notre Dame live stream will begin soon. Thanks for watching. Your Notre Dame live stream will begin soon. Thanks for watching. Your Notre Dame live stream will begin soon. Thanks for watching. Your Notre Dame live stream will begin soon. Thanks for watching. Your Notre Dame live stream will begin soon. Thanks for watching. Your Notre Dame live stream will begin soon. Thanks for watching. Your Notre Dame live stream will begin soon. Thanks for watching. Your Notre Dame live stream will begin soon. Thanks for watching. Your Notre Dame live stream will begin soon. Thanks for watching. Your Notre Dame live stream will begin soon. Thanks for watching. Your Notre Dame live stream will begin soon. Thanks for watching. Your Notre Dame live stream will begin soon. Thanks for watching. Your Notre Dame live stream will begin soon. Thanks for watching. Your Notre Dame live stream will begin soon. Thanks for watching. Your Notre Dame live stream will begin soon. Thanks for watching. Your Notre Dame live stream will begin soon. Thanks for watching. Your Notre Dame live stream will begin soon. Thanks for watching.
Please be seated. Hello, everyone. My name is Paul Winters. I'm the Associate Dean of Academic Affairs in the Keough School of Global Affairs. I have the pleasure today of welcoming you to the Keough School's ceremony for the graduating class of 2023. We're here to celebrate the achievements of the graduates of the Keough School of Global Affairs, the newest school at the University of Notre Dame. We'll be recognizing the efforts of the students who completed a supplemental major in Global Affairs, the students who received a Master's of Global Affairs, and finally, students receiving their doctorates in peace studies. We're so glad to have you, the families and friends of the graduates, join us here today in person. These students have faced numerous challenges, not the least of which the COVID-19 pandemic. We're proud of how they've worked together, supported each other, and made it to this day. They have shown great resilience. While it has not been easy, their successful completion of their studies shows their ability to cope and manage. Building on this, we expect to hear great things from them in the not-so-distant future. In a moment, we will be inviting our students to the stage to be recognized for their great accomplishments. Let me first introduce my colleagues on the stage who will be participating in this ceremony. First, there's Casey Swank, the Associate Director of Undergraduate Major in Global Affairs and Associate Advising Professor. Next is Bill Gobert, the Program Director for the Master of Global Affairs. Sitting next to Bill is Kat Bolton, the Director of Doctoral Studies in Peace Studies, and next to her, her colleague, Erin Corcoran, Acting Director and Executive Director of the Kroc Institute for International Peace Studies and Associate Teaching Professor. Next comes Iris Ma, Assistant Dean for Academic Affairs and Associate Teaching Professor. And finally, our leader, Scott Appleby, who is the Marilyn Keough Dean of the Keough School of Global Affairs and a Professor of History. I'd also like to recognize the faculty who have joined us here today in the front rows. Thank you for coming, and as well as a number of staff you'll see around the building who have made this happen and who support us throughout the year. We will begin by recognizing the 49 students in the supplemental major in Global Affairs. I'd like to invite Casey, our Associate Director of Global Affairs, to the lectern to recognize our new graduates.
Thank you, Paul. From Rumson, New Jersey, Hannah Reynolds came to Notre Dame choosing to study economic development around the globe. In her first year, she declared a major in economics and a supplementary major in global affairs with a concentration in international development studies. In the process of declaring her global affairs supplementary major, Hannah stated that she wanted to use her education to eventually serve others. She also added a minor in education, schooling, and society. Along the way, she supplemented her studies with Spanish and Swahili language classes and a semester abroad in Trinity College in Dublin, Ireland. Following her interest in economic development through education, Hannah embraced an opportunity with the Pulte Institute for Global Development, working as a research assistant for a project evaluating a literacy program for Haitian school children. Hannah then transferred her skills from that project to her own independent research project, funded and supported by the Keough Institute for International Development. Living in rural northern Uganda last summer, Hannah used a mixed methods approach to understand how women can be encouraged to pursue vocational opportunities. She presented on this research this academic year at the Keough Institute's Human Development Conference, an event she also co-chaired. Hannah's contribution to this research is important. Her findings lend insight into practical policy solutions for localities to pursue to improve access to and quality of vocational education for young women in northern Uganda. Hannah will follow her passion for international development policy further next fall at Georgetown University, where she will begin working on a Master of Public Policy. It is my great pleasure to invite Hannah Reynolds to the stage to speak on behalf of the undergraduates.
Good afternoon, everyone. As Professor Swanke said, my name is Hannah Reynolds, and I'm honored to be joining you all today and representing the graduating Global Affairs undergraduate students, and to share a brief reflection on our time in the Keough School. I would first like to begin by thanking everyone who has supported us along our journey here, our family and friends, our incredible professors, the generous donors of the Keough School, and of course, the Dean's Office and the staff of the Keough School. Without each of you, the experiences we have had through the Keough School would not be possible. Now, I would like to congratulate the class of 2023 and all that we've accomplished over the past 4 years, especially despite all we have persevered to seek out global opportunities. As a class, we all joined the Keough School, a place of global scholarship and engagement amidst a global pandemic. We pivoted from international travel and in-person cultural exchanges to virtual global learning opportunities and relationship building across borders. We furthered our international perspectives by hearing from diverse voices of leaders in global affairs and through unique internships that may not have been possible otherwise. Through it all, we learned firsthand how interconnected our world truly is and the importance of global decision-making towards integral human development. Because of this experience, as a class, we were more inspired and more dedicated to pursue global experiences and live out the university's mission to be a force for good. One of the most unique parts about the Global Affairs program is the interdisciplinary approach to international issues. Each student on this stage has a variety of academic interests and personal passions that influence how they view global issues, making for both dynamic classroom discussions and a diverse global experience. We have immersed ourselves in the world, from Singapore to Ghana, from Chile to right here in South Bend, conducting research, engaging with a variety of communities and cultures, and interning with incredible organizations. We have tackled pressing global issues such as access to and equity of education and healthcare, the role of religion in peacekeeping efforts, modern governance and political reform, and immigration policy and refugee resettlement. These incredible experiential learning opportunities would not have been possible without the Keough School and their associated institutions, which guided us, funded us, and most importantly, believed in us. Each of these experiences have been some of the most impactful parts of our time at Notre Dame and will continue to influence our future careers and vision for our world. No matter what careers we pursue and where in the world we find ourselves next, let us rely upon our global education to continue to advance international and domestic integral human development. Thank you to the Keough School for providing us with an incredible undergraduate experience that allowed us to truly engage in our world, preparing us with the interdisciplinary skills to be a global force for good. Congratulations to the class of 2023.
Thank you, Hannah. Your message is an inspiration to us all. We now recognize the undergraduate students who have completed a supplementary major in global affairs. Please rise. Associate Dean Ma will bestow upon you a stole of recognition, and Dean Appleby will offer his congratulations. Emma Marie Ackerley, with a concentration in transnational European studies from Fort Collins, Colorado. Margaret Russ Barrett, with a concentration in global policy studies from South Bend, Indiana. Annalise Faith Bizzano, with a concentration in global policy studies from Norwalk, Connecticut. Rose Yuan Hong Benes, with a concentration in global Asia studies from Naperville, Illinois. Adriana Maria Bodewig, with a concentration in Latin American studies from San Salvador, El Salvador. Maura Catherine Brennan, with a concentration in global policy studies from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Nathaniel Murray Seaplick, in absentia, with a concentration in international development studies from Longmeadow, Massachusetts. Nicholas James Crookston, with a concentration in civil and human rights from Muncie, Indiana. Mark Ronald Delastrito, with a concentration in global policy studies from Cheshire, Connecticut. Peter Joseph DeRay, with a concentration in transnational European studies from Lake Oswego, Oregon. Allison Elizabeth Doctor, with a concentration in international peace studies from South Bend, Indiana. Jennifer Chinezi Eburo, in absentia, with a concentration in international peace studies from Newtown Square, Pennsylvania. Patrick Glenn Enox, with a concentration in international peace studies from Downers Grove, Illinois. Peter Michael Ferraro, with a concentration in transnational European studies from Manasquan, New Jersey. Kira Elizabeth Fitter, in absentia, with a concentration in transnational European studies from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Anne Elaine Foley, in absentia, with a concentration in international development studies from Wilmette, Illinois. Catherine Marie Fines, with a concentration in international peace studies from Chevy Chase, Maryland. Jacqueline Ray Glago Fournier, with a concentration in civil and human rights from San Juan, Puerto Rico. Mary Catherine Godfrey, with a concentration in international peace studies from Elizabethtown, Kentucky. Jack Gerard Griffiths, with a concentration in global policy studies from Dallas, Texas. Tommy Joseph Hahn, with a concentration in Global Asia Studies from Granger, Indiana. Quentin Hare, in absentia, with a concentration in International Development Studies from Seattle, Washington. Reagan Mary Hultquist, in absentia, with a concentration in Global Policy Studies from Hinsdale, Illinois. Ella Catherine Hungeling, with a concentration in Global Policy Studies from Atlanta, Georgia. Catherine Margaret Jennings, with a concentration in International Development Studies from Newport Beach, California. Maureen Ann Kenny, in absentia, with a concentration in Transnational European Studies from Dublin, Ireland. Ronan Patrick King, with a concentration in Civil and Human Rights from Beverly, Massachusetts. Lucy Marie Knipe, with a concentration in Global Policy Studies from North Bend, Ohio. Asha Lauren Labine, with a concentration in Global Policy Studies from Elmhurst, Illinois. Tianji Eleanor Lukens, with a concentration in Global Policy Studies from San Francisco, California. Sophia Marie McKetty, with a concentration in International Peace Studies from Maumee, Ohio. Ryan William Murdoch, with a concentration in International Development Studies from Chicago, Illinois. Javier Alejandro Nater Alvarado, with a concentration in Transnational European Studies from Dorado, Puerto Rico. Matilda Mary Noon, in absentia, with a concentration in Global Policy Studies from Mercer Island, Washington. Mabel Cristina Perez Rodriguez, with a concentration in Global Policy Studies from San Juan, Puerto Rico. Lauren Pizzella, with a concentration in International Peace Studies from Greenwich, Connecticut. James Getchus Ramsey, with a concentration in Transnational European Studies from Jupiter, Florida. Hannah Jane Reynolds, with a concentration in international development studies from Rumson, New Jersey. Belen Riberas Orjalas, with a concentration in civil and human rights from Madrid, Spain. Gabriela Sofia Rivera, with a concentration in civil and human rights from Clinton, New Jersey. Claudia Cecilia Rivera, with a concentration in civil and human rights from Miami, Florida. Natalia Maria Ruiz Valdivia, with a concentration in international peace studies from Managua, Nicaragua. Natalie Francis Sampson, with a concentration in international peace studies from Kalamazoo, Michigan. Mary Grace Skarts, with a concentration in civil and human rights from Grayson, Georgia. Luke James Schaefer, with a concentration in international development studies from Williamston, Michigan. Elizabeth Gabrielle Smith, with a concentration in international peace studies from Kennesaw, Georgia. Mary Catherine Temple, with a concentration in international development studies from Carmel, Indiana. Aisha Tunkara, with a concentration in African studies from Sun Prairie, Wisconsin. Meredith Taylor Wilson, with a concentration in international peace studies from Somers, New York. Congratulations to our 2023 undergraduates with a supplemental major in global affairs.
Thank you, Casey. We will now move to recognize the graduates of the MGA program. These 46 students are from 21 countries and 11 US states and have trained in 3 concentrations: global affairs, international peace studies, and sustainable development. I'd like to invite Bill to the lectern. He is the program director for the MGA. Bill.
It is my honor to introduce the 2023 Master of Global Affairs student speaker, Maria Camila Peralta Benavides. Maria Camila is from Nicaragua. She came to the Keough School to do her master's in sustainable development with a focus on education policy, because it's her belief that education is one of the cornerstones of progress and development for all countries. She originally has a BA in economics from Villanova University and postgraduate training in trust fund management from the Latin American Banking Federation. She served as international project chair for Business Without Borders, leading trips to Nicaragua and fostering international literacy in small and medium business and enterprise sectors. There's a big part of the student experience at the Keough School, which is the field placement. This isn't just making copies or being in an office. We send our students into the field to work on real-world projects with outcomes that change people's lives. For Maria Camilla's field placement, she was part of a team in our integration lab, or iLab. Groups from this iLab go into the field together to work on a project. And Maria Camilla was part of a group that went to Chile. She worked with Enseña Chile, an organization that focuses on education and works to improve educational opportunities and outcomes for students in underserved communities. The specific work of her group was to assess and share leadership traits and skills among principals and school leaders to enhance student performance outcomes. She has also worked with the Pulte Institute at the Keough School on a learning agenda for Latin America, again, because of her commitment to enhancing education. And she's worked for the Institute of Educational Initiatives on a program to train school principals who are serving the Catholic community. After her graduation from the Keough School, she hopes to work in the U.S. for a year to increase her practical skills and knowledge of the international policy arena. Please join me welcoming Maria Camilla to the stage.
Good afternoon, deans, esteemed faculty members, fellow graduates, friends and family. I am honored to stand before you representing the Masters of Global Affairs class of 2023. Let me start by thanking the staff who's working behind the scenes to make sure this day goes smoothly. Thank you to everyone who made sure I will reach the microphone today. Thank you to our professors and mentors who have accompanied us through these years of learning and growth. Thank you to our friends and family, both present and at home, for your encouragement and support. Gracias, mamá y papá, por su apoyo incondicional. Thanks be to God for the blessings and trials that have made us who we are today. And last but not least, thank you to my dear colleagues and friends of the MGA program. We have come a long way, and we did it together. We learn about the bootstrap method in our Advanced Econometrics for Policy and Public Finance course. Although in the context of the class, it is a randomized resampling method, the term is commonly used in the phrase to pull yourself up by your bootstraps, referring to the ability of a person to lift themselves up by pulling on the laces of their boots, which is technically impossible. Today, the phrase represents the ideal of self-reliance and individual achievement. Yet, it fails to recognize that these individual achievements are the result of the collective sacrifices, contributions, and aspirations of those who journey with us and those who we meet along the way. We are living in a world of growing indifference, increasing divisions, and social and economic injustices. As development practitioners, future policymakers, and peace builders, we have made a commitment to building a more just and humane world. But the deep and radical change, the kind that is needed to transform this world, looks distant and unlikely. Let me ask a question we posed on the first day of our Integral Human Development course. Is there hope? My MGA experience has taught me that there is. One of the very first texts we received in our group chat read, "I will be in Duncan tonight, helping people get set up with technology. Happy to help. I would love for all of us to get in the culture of reaching out to extend support." To which someone replied, "I'll make coffee." And we got into that culture. We went from collectively figuring out how to submit our very first economics of growth and development assignments to proudly cheering for each other as we presented our final iLab projects, capstones, and thesis. Study groups, shared notes, carpools, shared meals, good humor. We became comfortable asking for help and accustomed to offering it. This created a space where we can recognize and uphold the qualities of each other without losing confidence in our own, where the triumph of one is celebrated by all. Hope thrives in community, and it is nourished in the small daily exercise of kindness. In the words of my fellow graduate, good friend, and resident poet, Alberto Solis, hope is both realistic and optimistic because it analyzes and understands the difficult realities of the world, but also believes it can change them. Hope is subversive because in a world dominated by despair, violence, competition, and exclusion, the most radical thing we can do is hope and love each other. Embracing this interdependence does not undermine individual efforts, merits, or personal responsibility, but it calls us to take a deeper look at the context in which our successes and failures unfold, and invites us to accept the responsibility of turning our achievements into opportunities for others. In practice, individuals who can bring these convictions into their work and day-to-day relationships will be the real game changers. In these past 2 years, we have studied the intricate web of politics, economics, and social dynamics that shape our societies. But I truly believe that what will set us apart is the lens through which we approach these issues. MGAs, if the care and compassion I have witnessed from you is an indication of how you will carry yourself moving forward, I have hope. As we step into the next chapter of our lives, keep in mind that our collective efforts can create ripples of positive change that extend far beyond our individual achievements. And let's find strength in knowing that in the Gambia, in the UK, or wherever there is an MGA, there is hope for a more just, humane, and happier world. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria Camilla. Your thoughts on pulling each other's bootstraps to raise us all, and Alberto's reminder of the power of hope are inspiring today. As the recently appointed program director for the Master of Global Affairs, I haven't had the opportunity to walk with these amazing individuals for their entire 2 years. In fact, I met most of them only about 6 months ago, but what I've seen in that time is amazing. I missed a lot not being with them through their entire journey, but as I look forward into the years to come, I hope to hear about the great changes they'll make in this world. And now the 2023 Master of Global Affairs candidates. Halima Aladamade Ahmad, with a concentration in international peace studies from Ilorin, Kwara State, Nigeria. Onile Horata Baitutli, with concentration in sustainable development from Molapelole, Botswana. Elizabeth Boyle, concentration in international peace studies from Manhasset, New York. Catherine Olivia Bruno, the concentration in international peace studies from Westfield, New Jersey. Nicola Shahadi, with a concentration in global affairs from Beirut, Lebanon. Christine Chun with a concentration in sustainable development from Chicago, Illinois. Ide Yadira Cuenca Narvaez with a concentration in sustainable development from El Arbolito, Duran, Ecuador. Mariama S. Damfa with a concentration in global affairs from Sahadatu, the Gambia. Iba El Kalamawi, the concentration in global affairs from Mansoura, Egypt. Nourhen Fahmi with a concentration in global affairs from Cairo, Egypt. Erda Whitney Fils with a concentration in international peace studies from Port-au-Prince, Haiti. Alicia Janelle Flood with a concentration in sustainable development from Bronx, New York. Rafael Peter Gutierrez with a concentration in sustainable development from St. Paul, Minnesota. Max Hammond, the concentration in sustainable development from Evergreen, Colorado. Alina Renee Holmstrom in absentia, concentration in global affairs from Lac La Belle, Michigan. Mohammed Shahzad Hussain with a concentration in international peace studies from Haripur, Pakistan. Prithvi S. Iyer with a concentration in global affairs from Mumbai, India. Emma Jackson with a concentration in international peace studies. Sorry. Let's do that again. Okay. Emma Jackson for the concentration in international peace studies from Ann Arbor, Michigan. Catherine Patricia Jassy with a concentration in international peace studies from Lamine, the Gambia. Christopher Stephen Jordan with a concentration in global affairs from Wheaton, Illinois. Than Binh Lai with a concentration in sustainable development from Thanh Hoa, Vietnam. Eunhae Lee with a concentration in international peace studies from Seoul, Republic of Korea. Marla Samira Magania Cancino, concentration in global affairs from Progresso Village, Belize. Kevin Thomas Mann, the Concentration in Sustainable Development from Montville, New Jersey. Cynthia Mene, with a concentration in global affairs from Lagos, Nigeria. Tene Nyambi Morgan, the concentration in global affairs from St. Paul, Minnesota. Sadat Musaba Aiva, International Peace Studies, Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan. Mangala Joseph Mbabare, International Peace Studies, Yambio, South Sudan. Jody K. Etzel, concentration in global affairs from Middleton, Wisconsin. Nicoleta Paladi, with a concentration in sustainable development from Chisinau, Moldova. Maria Camila Peralta Benavides, with a concentration in sustainable development from Managua, Nicaragua. Dakota Lynn Peterson, with a concentration in sustainable development from Seattle, Washington. Michael Andrew Picuza, the concentration in sustainable development from Plainfield, Illinois. Musa Bakoto Sawau, is a concentration in international peace studies from Kanifing, the Gambia. Melvin Sharty, with a concentration in international peace studies from Kenema, Sierra Leone. Hafsa Sheikh, concentration in sustainable development from Raiwind, Pakistan. Alberto Solis Castro, International Peace Studies concentration, Mexico City, Mexico. Matthew Jesus Talamantes, concentration in global affairs from Denver, Colorado. Emily Grace Tatum, with a concentration in international peace studies from Carmel, Indiana. Audrey Elizabeth Thill, with a concentration in international peace studies from Paoli, Indiana. Safi Toure, with a concentration in international peace studies from Brighton, United Kingdom. Alex Underwood, with a concentration in sustainable development from Muncie, Indiana. Elise Margaret Verduner, in absentia, with a concentration in global affairs from Loomis, California. Clevera Wansa Jaya, International Peace Studies from Temanggung, Indonesia. And Marla Zagheb, concentration in global affairs from Beirut, Lebanon. And one more round of applause for our 2023 Master of Global Affairs graduates.
Thank you, and congratulations to the MGA students. The next group of students we will recognize are receiving their PhD in Peace Studies. I'd like to invite Kat Bolton, the Director of Doctoral Studies, to the lectern.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is my honor as the Director of Doctoral Studies for the Keough Institute to speak on behalf of our wonderful PhD program. The Keough Institute was one of the founding institutes of the Keough School when the school welcomed its first class of Masters of Global Affairs students in 2017. The PhD program in Peace Studies is unique. No other program in the world combines peace studies explicitly with other disciplines in the humanities and social sciences and trains students to be experts in peace and one of 6 other fields. Our students are sociologists, anthropologists, historians, political scientists, theologians, and psychologists. They come with expertise in these fields, and while here they nurture their normative commitment to undertake scholarship in the service of a peaceful, equitable, and thriving world. We also train them to become conversant in the other aligned disciplines as part of this deeper understanding of achieving peace, which means that psychologists take history courses, theologians dabble in variables, and anthropologists grapple with data sets. It is a commitment to interdisciplinarity that is unmatched in academia. And when our fantastic students graduate, they bring all of their skills and commitments to whatever path they choose, whether it is inside the academy or in this troubled, wider world that so desperately needs their help. Today, we honor 2 students who will be joining our growing number of fantastic alumni as they work to change our world. It's my great pleasure to introduce Angela Michelle Chesler from Atlanta, Georgia, Peace Studies and Political Science. Her dissertation is Politics After Autonomy, Repression, Rebellion, and Revision, directed by Dr. Gary Gertz. And in absentia, we recognize Mary S. Tarsha from Fort Worth, Texas, in Peace Studies and Psychology, whose dissertation is Investigating Early Life Experience on Social Moral Development, the Mediating Role of Child Physiological Regulation, directed by Darshan Narvaez and Daniel Lapsley. Thank you, everyone.
And one more time, let's congratulate all the graduates. And Finally, we would like to invite to the lectern our founding dean, Scott Appleby, to give some final remarks and the charge for the graduates. Scott.
One might think it a difficult assignment to address three quite different groups of graduates in one short address. So this will be long. No, it won't be long. How am I to give a charge that makes sense first to 49, 21, 22-year-olds who, after spending most or all of 4 years on campus frolicking in the snowdrifts with their dorm mates, have earned a bachelor's degree with a global affairs supplementary major, first. Second, to 46 older adults, ages 25 to 45, who hail from 21 countries and speak collectively 40 different languages, and who have earned a master's degree in global affairs. Many of our MGA students from warmer climes, by the way, thought they would freeze to death when they felt the first chilly South Bend breeze, and this was in October. But they eventually did prevail, and some were even seen frolicking in the snowdrifts themselves. And third, the charge must also speak to two Peace Studies PhD graduates who have not been outdoors at all in 7 years. What have you three disparate cohorts in common? Well, you have in common the experience of navigating a global pandemic, so we commend you for your courage and persistence. You prevailed in the worst of times. And you have Notre Dame and the Keough School in common, and to the point, you all seek to advance integral human development in your professions, careers, and personal lives. To our guests here this afternoon, let me say that these graduates, your children, grandchildren, spouses, partners, and friends, they don't want to save the world exactly. They're far too wise to try to do that, but they do want to accompany one another, and especially those most vulnerable, on a journey to protect the inherent dignity of each person and every person they encounter. Does this sound ambitious? Too idealistic to you, especially to parents? Okay, then let's be practical. Graduates, you earn your degree by working hard to master a discipline, a set of professional skills, a body of knowledge that gives you the necessary credentials to compete for and win that first career job, or go on to further graduate or professional study to deepen and expand those credentials. Many of you have worked one or more jobs to support yourself during these years of privilege, for it is a privilege in our society and in any society to have the opportunity to earn a university degree. Your families have sacrificed to afford you this privilege, and I have no doubt that they want you to enjoy this moment, pause, and then get on with it. Get a good job, earn some money, support yourselves and perhaps your own family, cash in on that degree. And in this practical vein, you may be thinking, no employer is going to say to me, tell me, Alberta, that's Alberta with an A, I had to pick up a name. Tell me, Alberta, it could be any of you, how does your training in, what does it say here, integral human development, make you specially qualified for this position? No one's going to ask you that. Well, your potential employers may not ask you that question unless they are particularly savvy and grasp the big picture. And what is the big picture? Let me present it to you in three brief theses. Thesis number one, most everything you have learned these 2 or 4 or more years, certainly every technical detail preparing you for a career, will be obsolete by Christmas. Everything you've learned, especially every technical detail, will be obsolete by New Year's. If you doubt it, chat GBT with me about it later. Thesis number two, what we hope and expect will not become obsolete, and what will be an even greater demand in the coming years, whether you wind up teaching, healthcare, law, business, sports, education, policy work, communication, transportation, urban planning, agriculture, advocacy, or architecture, what will not be obsolete is a capacity to make sound judgments, to analyze, to evaluate, to channel the relevant data and knowledge towards solutions and innovations based on your ability to make judgments about human risk and human flourishing, and to perceive what is morally right and morally dangerous to people. Yes, you will still need professional knowledge and technical skills, but your added value will be rewarded now more than ever by the content of your character, by your moral compass and compassion, which will increasingly be prized as a refuge from the gathering storm. Thesis number 3, the storm is coming. Indeed, it is already here. We are engulfed not only by the literal storm, the rising waters, monster hurricanes, barren lands, and flood of climate and famine refugees, but also the storms of violence, extremism, and other social ills plaguing our nation and world. The historian might say, same as it ever was, we've always struggled with this kind of stuff and we've always prevailed. In another sense, however, the big picture is unprecedented in that it is all intertwined and accelerated in its impact by the wonders and perils of technology. Technology whose impact on Earth and its inhabitants is rapid and powerful, rapid and disruptive, rapid and dislocating. The key modifier here is rapid. Stop the world, I want to get off. But the frenetic merry-go-round will not stop. It won't slow down. It's just going to get faster. Now, how will it all turn out? Well, of course I know, but that would be giving away the secret, wouldn't it? What I can share with you is another kind of secret. Whatever happens, however these crises and their solutions unfold in the coming years, what will be absolutely at a premium, absolutely necessary and relevant more than ever before is the supremely human quality of mercy. Mercy is a human quality, yes, but is also mysteriously a divine gift, a kind of mystical superpower available to those whose hearts are open to it, and it is the charism at the heart of your vocation to advance integral human development. So then what is mercy? Since mercy has this intangible, mystical quality to it, our guides must be the wise, the discerning, our cultural and spiritual heroes. Of course, I refer to Bad Bunny, Drake, the Swifties, and Rihanna. Thank you. That makes me feel, that little patter makes me feel relevant. Unfortunately, time does not permit me to quote these icons here at length, so tune into my podcast later. Here I will need to go right to the top. To Pope Francis and his apostolic letter from 2016, which is titled Misericordia et Misera, Mercy in the Face of Misery. It's a beautiful letter in which the Pope makes 3 fundamental points about mercy as a quality of mind and spirit. Point number 1, mercy is closely related to hope, as we heard already in that wonderful speech. Mercy is closely related to hope. Hope not for a particular outcome, that my attempt to heal this particular patient will ultimately succeed, for example, but that it is good in itself that I'm working tirelessly to heal this patient, that my act of mercy resonates with and is validated by the quiet conviction that this is what is real. When all else is burned away, that the one thing that endures and prevails across time is love, care, compassion, kindness, mutual giving and receiving between 2 or more persons, without regard to the loved one's merit, to achievement, to a status bestowed by something else, say the state, or someone else, say your boss. It is yours merely for being a person, regardless of your race, status, wealth, or health. Mercy, in other words, is not found in spreadsheets programmed by algorithms or dependent on the market, though its spirit in your hands may well help shape all of these, as well as innumerable public policies. Mercy is rather a gift that is somehow independent of your striving, but enables you to strive with greater courage, resilience, and that quiet confidence. Mercy does not keep score or calculate who or what is worthy of it. Its quality is not strained. It is sheer generosity. Second, about mercy, it gets activated in us, if I can put it that way, when we encounter the miserable, those who suffer almost unbearable trauma, who are deprived, lonely, lost, displaced. And what is activated in us when we encounter people so obviously in need of loving kindness is the memory of mercy bestowed upon us by someone else. Your mother or father worrying over you on your sickbed, a sibling who comes to your rescue when you least expected it, the teacher or doctor or nurse who listened and understood. Pope Francis puts it this way, quoting the Apostle Peter, once you had not received mercy, but now you have received mercy. Let us not hold on jealously to what we have received, but share it with our suffering brothers and sisters. Third and final quality I'll mention about mercy. Deep down, mercy is an expression of joy. What good news it is, graduates, should you accept it as you head out into the world, that the weight of the world is lifted off your shoulders, that you are not responsible for healing this broken world in some definitive final way, but you can simply go about the business of using your education, deeper knowledge, heightened awareness, and skills in analysis and judgment just to love one another as best you can. Pope Francis invites you to, quote, "Clothe yourselves in joy. For all who are joyful, do what is good, think what is good, and despise sadness. All who put aside sadness and put on joy will live in God. The experience of mercy brings joy. May we never allow this joy," the Pope continues, "to be robbed from us by our troubles and concerns. May it remain rooted in our hearts and enable us to approach with serenity the events of our daily lives." Joy springs from the conviction of the worth of every human person, always and everywhere. If each individual is of such great worth, Francis writes in another letter, it must be stated clearly and firmly that, quote, "the mere fact that some people are born in places with fewer resources or less development does not justify the fact that they are living with less dignity. Every human being has the right to live with dignity and to develop integrally. This fundamental right cannot be denied by any country. People have this right even if they are unproductive or were born with or develop limitations. This does not detract from their great dignity as human persons, a dignity based not on circumstances, but on the intrinsic worth of their being. Unless this basic principle is upheld, there will be no future either for fraternity or for the survival of humanity." That's all from Pope Francis. And so our graduates have prepared themselves to be worthy companions and sometimes guides of people from any and every background on the road to freedom and self-realization. The book knowledge that they have absorbed while here will serve them well, though the particulars will fade or become obsolete. But the methods of research and inquiry, the ways of interpreting data, of reading the signs of the time and of nature, and the practice of discerning the truths embedded in human hearts, these ways of knowing, we faculty and staff are convinced, will stay with you. The world desperately needs these ways of knowing. People of conscience can no longer pretend that violence is not at the heart of our societies, that we are not all equally vulnerable to hatred, indifference, and predatory behavior. We can no longer assume that laws and constitutions and charity are enough. But we all nonetheless make bold to ask, does the arc of the universe bend towards justice? The breathtaking truth is that the answer to this question will depend on you. That is why the Keough School faculty and staff, your teachers and mentors, program directors and advisors have done their level best to share what little or much insight, knowledge, and wisdom they have acquired along the path to this pivotal moment in global affairs, indeed in human development and in world history. We know that you must gather the necessary personal and professional resources to enable you to stay the course for many years ahead. You cannot fall back on individual effort alone. You must collaborate, team up, find sustenance in common cause, as you've done here, and never settle for easy answers. That's what it means to be alumni of the Keough School. And so, Keough School class of 2023, I charge you with the improbable but not impossible task of transforming your experience here and the dreams we have dreamed together into a platform for action. These Notre Dame and Keough years have made you ever more sober-minded, realistic, and detailed in our appraisal of the obstacles ahead. In order to succeed, your research, teaching, activism, advocacy, and attentiveness in pursuit of justice must be accompanied by a sustaining faith in your ability to prevail. Insist on open, honest communication. Don't be shy about praying for strength. And above all, avoid the cheap optimism of the uninformed. Thank you for sharing your lives with us these years. Know that here at Notre Dame and the Keough School, we will continue to accompany, support, and cheer you on as you labor with grace and persistence for a peaceful, just, and humane future for all people.